Welcome back to the Nerdattude Movie Podcast. We're here with 3 horror movies. Anthony's not here with us. He's off practicing his Michael Myers.
Over and over.
We were going to review Bread, but it all showed up moldy. So we decided to go with these 3 movies instead.
Yeah, it would have just been a bad review because we couldn't eat it.
Yeah. And I'm allergic to penicillin.
That's
rough.
Yeah,
that's right.
So you can't get gonorrhea then, can you? For you, gonorrhea is like
I could take ampicillin if that works. I don't know.
Is ampicillin? Do they use
ampicillin? Is not penicillin.
Maybe you could just pour Pepto-Bismol on top of it.
Makes everything better.
I fucking for all I know.
Well, don't they use Vicks in the Puerto Rican family? So
Jesus! Have you tried Flex Seal?
Got to put Vicks on. That's true. Vicks heals everything.
I don't know if it.
I'm not Italian, so I can't use Windex.
No Windex for you. That's Greek. How dare you?
Oh, Greek. Sorry.
Fucking
Greek.
You're not an olive eater, are you? I'm a fed of tomato guy myself. Sorry. What are we talking about, Giovanni? Go. Fuck.
We're talking about our first movie is going to be
Moldy bread. Yeah.
American Werewolf, not in London.
Did you say
the
American?
better one in Paris.
Paris. It should have been like when this movie first starts, when the fucking title comes on the screen, it should be like Kid Rock's American Badass playing. Like it's that level of cheese. This garbage pile of a fucking movie.
It was 25 million estimated budget for the movie. Most of the money went to the wolves. We'll get into that.
The only thing, by the way, that semi-transists from the original is the fact that they show them turning into wolves.
Yeah.
That's the only connecting tissue in any way.
Yep. It grossed worldwide about 26 million, so it didn't do very well.
So that just shows you that worldwide we're not that fucking stupid.
Yep. It wasn't very well received. But there are some good actors in here. Tom Everett Scott, I remember him.
Is he good?
From that
I think he's good.
No, he's not. He's not.
Is he good though?
He's a good actor.
He's entertaining.
I remember him from that.
Okay.
I remember him from That Thing You Do.
That makes sense.
But he's got kind of that. What is it? The Adam Brody thing from the OC.
Yeah.
Where it's like he's entertaining, but he never caught on. Like he just was always that middling whatever.
Like I said, he's entertaining. He's not good. He's entertaining.
Okay. Yeah, I never found him, and in this movie, he's particularly
I call him
bad.
Spartacus. I call him Spartacus through most of this because in that thing you do, he calls himself Spartacus when he plays the drums.
Oh, okay.
I am Spartacus.
He looks nothing like Spartacus, and you see enough of him without his shirt in this movie.
I like his buddy who gets torn up and then he's a ghost for a while.
Yeah,
he was in Rat Race, which I like if you've never seen that movie. And I think of Alex actually with that guy's character in particular because Giovanni, because his tongue swells up in the movie from his tongue stud. Because it gets infected. And I always think of Giovanni when I see that. Or was that you?
No, that was me that actually told the story about when I took the trip to Michigan where my tongue was so swollen.
Okay, so it was you then. Okay, I thought it was you at first.
I took a bus trip to Michigan to be with my grandmother.
Wait, but Giovanni, didn't you have
Mother's
that same
Day.
problem though where yours got infected and swelled up?
My tongue swelled up pretty bad. It didn't get as infected though, but I ate a bucket of ice for about a week.
I was there with my wife. We took him to go get his tongue pierced. And how'd the story go?
Oh.
When she came in. So all right, we're gonna sidetrack real quick for a funny story.
This is nothing but sidetrack episode. Sorry.
The
movie's good. Shut up.
The piercer tells me to put my hands in front of me, and I stand up because I'm so nervous.
To catch the blood.
No, to put the paper towel.
Yeah, to put the paper towel.
So she can have all her utensils right there in front of her. So when she puts the piercing through, then the earrings there, the ring is there and everything.
I don't know if I want to hear the story.
And I'm on the side, and Emmy's on the other side.
It's better. So I stand up, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm nervous." She laughs. Alex laughs. After it's done, though, we call Emmy in.
No, she was there the whole time.
No, remember she came in because I remember she turned the corner, and she walked in like this. And we're like, why the fuck are you covering your ears?
She was like this. She was covering her eyes and ears, walking into the room.
So do you
didn't want to see her
still have a tongue stud?
I do not. I had to take it out for when I worked at InMotion.
So what was the reasoning, since we're already down this hole, do you still have one, Alex?
I have the top piercing and the bottom piercing, but there's a film in between, so I can't
So what
punch it
was the
through.
thinking of getting that?
I just wanted a piercing.
During that time,
No tattoos,
when
or
it
you got
was,
tattoos?
I do have a tattoo.
Okay.
I don't.
Now, why did you never get tattooed?
I at the time I didn't have the money, but I had enough. I had enough to get a piercing. But
Tattoos
when I
are
met my
fucking
wife,
expensive for ink.
yeah, when I met my
You're paying
wife,
for labor.
she refused to have me get a piercing. I'm sorry, a tattoo, because I have the same blood as my children and she doesn't. So if I have to donate blood, she's adamant about it and she fights me on it. And I'm like, that's not the same. It's not the same. Like where
It's not like it used to be.
That
technology
also
has changed.
didn't that also have a 4-year grace period too? Like a
Yeah,
4-year
yeah.
half-life or
But
whatever?
she will fight me on this. So I have an agreement with my oldest daughter
I'm
when she
sorry.
turns
I don't care
18.
how many tattoos I have. If my daughter needs blood and I happen to have the same type of blood,
Yeah,
I'll poke my own goddamn self. I'll put it in a Ziploc and I'll bring it to
yeah,
the fucking hospital. I don't give a fuck.
yeah.
I'll cut the
I'll
arm
set it
off
up.
and give him a fucking fresh
I watched
sprout.
enough. I've watched enough TV that I could do my own fucking transfusion thing.
I've been in the hospital. I know
Just have to put it up higher.
it's not that hard. You just dehydrate yourself a little so the
No,
veins are
but
popping. You're looking all shredded like lettuce.
my oldest
Cool.
daughter and I have a pact where when she turns 18, her and I are going to get our tattoos together.
What are you gonna get?
For me, I don't know, man. I was thinking about doing just the three of their what do you call it? Astrology signs, Cancer, Libra, and what was the other one? I can't remember the other one.
Gorilla, I think, is the one you're thinking.
No, Aries, I think it is. January, July, and April.
I'm a Taurus. I don't take shit from nobody.
I'm a Taurus as well.
So
I'm not gonna
Tattoo of
tattoo
the-
myself.
I at some point want to get a family tree on my back that extends down my arms.
Oh, good luck with that.
With
Yeah.
actual, I literally want to be the 65-year-old dude getting like, oh, new grandkid. Got to get a new fucking.
So where are you gonna start it from? From your family
hurts.
now?
So I was
From your
thinking,
family now?
I was thinking from basically her parents and my parents, and then
Okay.
and then us. Like what the idea is, kind of like they're basically in the stumps, you know, and then we branch out, so we'll be the first
Okay, yeah,
major
I got
branches,
that. Yeah.
sort of thing, and then as it grows, but it'll have to be designed kind of like a tree that's meant to be over time designed. But I have it where I want it to. I kind of want like I have one. I want it to wrap around though. I'd also like to get sleeved, but I'm a fucking nerd, so it's like I just want horror movie shit and weird stuff. Like I want a Willy Wonka tattoo somehow. Like I'd love to get the chocolate bar.
Couldn't hear you, Giovanni.
I want to get a tattoo of Wonka fisting a Oompa Loompa.
Jesus,
That'd be great.
Fuck.
Oh my God! Wow.
All right, so
Okay.
American where Tom Everett Scott's
yeah.
entertaining but not a good actor. So anyways, yeah.
The new Wonka or Gene Wilder Wonka or Charlie Wonka?
Well, the new Wonka
Gene Wilder.
looks like he'd take it. Gene Wilder, a
The
fist fight.
yeah.
Like, I've had enough scotch today, sir. Like, he'll fist fight
the prequel Wonka. I don't know, man. I don't know.
He looks like an overgrown Stewie Griffin.
Yeah. He's a
So
bit different.
American Werewolf in Paris is not. I mean, we got the budget and everything out of the way, right?
Yeah.
All right. Overall garbage storyline of they're in Paris, just three friends. It's this like wannabe dude from Fast Times at Ridgemont High is one of them. Then you got kind of the other buddy who's the stoner. Then you got more the straight lace guy, and it starts off with them bungeeing off the Eiffel Tower. Storyline is they meet a woman who's trying to kill herself. He saves her, searches for her, finds basically the underground werewolf community, gets bit, ends up becoming a werewolf.
So the one friend, the one that said that he has the high sex counter,
Yeah.
was he the basis for Filter, or what was he? What was he for?
That is not the bassist from Filter.
For 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sad.
It was. Yeah, he's former Filter
What's his name?
and Fuel. Phil Buckman.
Bill Buckman. No, he doesn't have a music career.
So he was the bassist for Filter for like 3 years, and then he was Fuel. He was in Fuel.
He was in Fuel. I like
And
that
then-
song. I like that band. Some of their songs.
And
You
then
ever listen to
he
Fuel?
was in a cover band for Petty Cash.
You ever listen to Fuel?
Johnny Cash and Tom Petty. Yeah.
Jesus or a Gun. It's an awesome
Yeah.
song. Oh, he was in One Side Zero.
Yeah.
That was a like 2000s like new metal.
This was
band.
all he made this movie with them before he was even in those bands. So this was like a stepping stone for him to get
What
into.
year did this movie come out?
What is it? 97?
At all.
97. Yep.
Wowzers.
I
Good
know.
for him. Anyway, all right, let's start with the positive. What do you guys like about the movie? Because as I watched it, I realized that everything I liked about it was pure childhood nostalgia. And it really wasn't a great movie. I do feel part of it, though, is I don't think it made a very good transition from DVD to digital. And I think some of the issue is it's kind of like a zoomed in frame, like specifically the scenes where he's like finds out where she lives and he's trying to talk to her. And it's very much seems like the transfer is like they took the DVD and were just like, here you go, now you're 1080p. And all it did was stretch it.
All they did was brighten everything up a little more. That's what
it looks like shit. Like the transfer itself looks like dog shit. It's terrible.
Especially the scenes where they're on top of the Eiffel Tower and you see the background and you could completely see it's a green screen.
Yeah,
I didn't like that. But they actually filmed on the fucking Eiffel Tower. How could that happen?
Well,
you know what I mean?
They may have for outside shots, but those scenes where they're like sitting up there, that's all green screen in some studio. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it is 97, so you are still dealing with this is the technology from Idle Hands, not The Matrix. So you got to look at it that way. Idle Hands
is still a fucking better movie.
Idle Hands is a way fucking better movie than this.
Than this.
By a long shot.
We have to do that one movie just to fucking.
So we need to do Idle Hands and The Frighteners. Do those two together.
So I agree with The Frighteners, but I don't know if I think Idle Hands is a good pick to go with it. I think you got to do a bit of a mish. So Idle Hands and Can't Hardly Wait.
Okay, I get you now.
You see what I'm saying? Those work. For The Frighteners is one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's great.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what to pair The Frighteners with because it's a hard one because it's got to be paired with
McHale's
something.
Navy?
You are dishonoring The Frighteners with that one. I can't, I'm not going to lie. And I've never said McHale's Navy is a amazing movie. I just say I love it, and I think everyone should at least give it a chance. You'll probably get a chuckle out of it. You may love it. It's straight up. I love the fucking movie. I'm not saying it's an award winner, and it didn't win any awards at all. Maybe Razzies, actually. But this movie is just, it's cheesy shittiness. The comedy that's in it is weird because there's some serious tonal imbalances. Go ahead.
To me, it did remind me a lot of fucking like MTV type stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like the way this shit happened.
Almost, it was, in that way, maybe it was a little ahead of its time.
Yeah.
You know, where the Real World hadn't really fully caught on, maybe? I don't know when the Real World, I thought that came out like 95, but
this whole thing reminded me of like MTV type thing because the music, you know, the actors that are in there are young.
You literally have like The Offspring and other these are cool pop punk bands.
Even Cake is fucking in there, dude.
It's literally you could confuse the soundtrack for the soundtrack of the movie Orange County with Jack Black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's that type of soundtrack, which is okay, but then when you get to the points where the werewolves are coming in and it's supposed to be serious and they're ripping people's fucking hearts out and eating them, then it goes right back to the goofy, like, "Ooh, we made it out of that death room. More hilarity is going to happen." And it's like the total imbalance in this movie is it just kills it. Like it never gets rolling.
Here's the name of the building. It has Lupe at the end. It's a it means wolf. Yeah, okay, I got it. I get it.
And then it's like, was it just me or the werewolves seem like a white power organization?
Yeah.
Like he calls them skinheads at one point.
Yeah, they look like a bunch of fucking skinheads.
There's a fucking theme now.
Yeah, right. The Nazi werewolves in Paris.
Now there's now
Nazi American werewolves in Paris.
The one problem I have with this movie, and then watching it again, was the lore. They took the lore of the werewolves, and I don't know where they went with it.
Was there a real lore, or was it just like, if you get bitten, you are now werewolf too? I'm sorry. And then
they brought.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say then they brought in like a laboratory type thing, and
Where she was trying to get the cure, yeah, from...
Which brings me back to the beginning. I was like, why is there a guy running with a lab coat? So what the fuck's going on? He busts out of a sewer.
It's literally Doc Brown busts out of a sewer and is sprinting for his life, and you're just like, something big is chasing him.
And he screams at a taxi driver to help him.
Like, yeah, and the taxi driver's like, I guess I'll get out. And he gets out, and then, like, the cage opens, or the grating opens, grabs the taxi, nah, fuck this. I'm going to go back in my warm car because it's raining, if you haven't noticed.
He goes back to the car, and he picks up the fare, and he leaves.
Gets the fuck out of there. It's not his problem. He has no business. Like, if you're walking down the street, and the fucking sewer grate consumes someone, don't investigate it. Call 911 and get the fuck out of there. Like, that's what a smart person does.
He just goes back and picks up his next fare and drives away.
Get the fuck... Don't do anything. You never saw it. You don't want sewer grate animal to know you saw it. Fuck that. Come on in. It's raining. Extra charge. Fuck it. You just saw the grate eat a person. You earned it.
No worry. Your ride is for free today.
Yeah.
As long as we can get the fuck out of here.
I love how being a werewolf, there's a master, they use a master system. So like if you kill the one who bit you, you're saved. You're fine.
And,
it's like,
and you eat their heart.
You have to eat their heart. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't remember that in the lore. And then they're mediums now too. They can see dead people.
Yes,
so that's new.
So also,
and not just the dead people of the ones they kill, the dead people of other people that they kill. So I guess anybody who is killed by a lichen is their ghost is seen by.
So here's the thing. Late in the movie, she tells him to cut her heart out and eat it, but she's not the one who actually bit him. And it's like, bitch, how do you know you're not the one that bit him? Like,
because they don't have memory.
Also, why don't you have fucking memory? That's the dumbest lore. Like, to just completely forget what you've done doesn't make any sense to the fact that they have like a criminal underground organization.
But isn't there in some of the werewolf legends or whatever, like lore?
Yeah.
Where they don't have memory of when they turn.
Yeah, but how do you, when you wake up, like just go, okay, I forgot anything I did last night, but back to building this evil werewolf crew thing.
Like when he wakes up and he's got the dog flattened in front of him.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know what you did to this dog.
Also, why is she so fucked up that her mother's haunting her?
She killed her mother.
I get it, but like,
yeah,
they literally give you 20 seconds of it, and it's just like, all right, I guess like that's a weird Beetlejuice part of this movie.
When I noticed that happen, I actually had to rewind the movie like 15 minutes.
It's like,
what the fuck? Wait a minute.
It's so off-putting because it's like, what movie am I watching, bro? And then
it's weird.
It's got bad pacing. It literally goes from like a tidbit of werewolf to stupid, teenage melodrama, like college frat movie, then back to seriousness with they're literally are cloaked and then they turn into werewolves and eat the whole room.
It's like a werewolf movie mixed with Eurotrip.
Yes, exactly, dude. It's Eurotrip with werewolves, and that's a fucking problem. I will say, the end scene when he turns and rips the shit out of the dude is still pretty awesome. And the running joke we've had for this movie is what? Like your mouth. And sure enough, in that fucking scene, it slow crawls until he fully turns, and then it's like you hear like the and then he turns, and then it literally says the line your mouth as he turns, and it's like they got so many uses out of that. They used it in the trailer. They used it in the movie. Like every clip was like, boy, Gavin, I wonder how many dollars Gavin Rossdale got for that one. Like, you are the voice of that movie, brother. I'll still get residuals. All right, let's do final.
Does he get him, or does the other girl get him?
Who?
His ex-wife.
Ooh. I'd like to think Gwen Stefani has her own fortune.
Yeah.
I mean, she literally went from No Doubt to Gwen Stefani, and then came back and No Doubt a little. Like,
but now she's married to what's his name and
Blake Shelton.
Yeah.
You know what? Whatever. They're both in their 40s. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Is he really? I thought he was older.
Yeah,
When did they
well,
get
he
married?
might be older. I don't know, a few years ago or a year ago or something.
Yeah, he proposed and everything. It was like a whole voice thing.
I mean, Gwen Stefani's a catch.
Yeah.
Like the reason why people like No Doubt is because she was the singer. That band with anybody else have been like, oh yeah, this ska pop punk.
She is talented. She is talented, and
I can't remember what I like
Blake
the song
Shelton. I don't know.
Ex-Girlfriend. There's a couple No Doubt songs that are actually really solid. That first album was. I remember getting a cassette somehow in the mail. I don't know if my mom sent away for it or what, but I got a cassette in the mail of the first No Doubt CD, and that's how I listened to it with my cassette player. Because it was the 90s.
You had a Walkman too?
No, I had some cheap Radio Shack knockoff, more than likely. Just like the headsets. We talked about this last time. They had 2-year warranty. They were $19.99. The warranty was $8. They broke year and a half in. You got a brand new pair, new model and everything. Their warranty was so awesome for if you were trying to play it. I got so many new pairs of headsets that were better than my other pair by simply accidentally breaking them. I put them out of business. Fuck Radio Shack.
I know, I hate them.
I miss Radio Shack. No, I miss them.
I do kind of.
They were actually better than Best Buy. They were better than Best Buy.
No, they weren't for product availability.
Yes,
That's not true.
Well, no. They if they didn't have it, they would tell you. They wouldn't say, "Well, we can get it for you. We could do this."
Yeah, but the problem is Radio Shack never had anything you wanted besides like CD players and headsets.
We forgot all about the robots and shit.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Little miniature TVs, portable TVs when they were this big. You can get those at Radio Shack. You used to actually be able to get radios at Radio Shack, but after about 2010, you couldn't get radios at Radio Shack anymore.
A lot of cordless phones
and corded stereo systems that nobody gave a shit about. RC cars. You can get a lot of RC cars at Radio Shack. I mean, do you remember Radio Shack of like Short Circuit 2 though? When you could build an entire PC and make a robot work better from that? And then you fast forward to Radio Shack that's like, we've got those new miniature RC cars that you can ride on the table, and they're only this big. They're $20, you get a little tiny remote. I used to love those. I had several. Final thoughts, Alex.
God. Aside from him becoming one of my favorites from his next movie, I think he did, of That Thing You Do, he was horrible in this.
Almost Famous is better.
He was in Almost Famous?
No, Almost Famous is a better movie.
Oh, you mean Almost Famous? Okay, but I really do love That Thing You Do. I don't know.
That Thing You Do
is,
however, better than Rockstar, but I do love Rockstar.
I think it's the music for me that does it for That Thing You Do.
Yeah.
And the fact that they actually travel through different genres of music.
You got Tom Hanks too, and it's kind of like the story of the Beatles in a way, which is neat.
Yeah.
Please.
But I think this was his worst performance that I've ever seen him in. I did like his buddy, the ghost guy, and like I said, he was in the movie Grind, and Giovanni and I both agree that we both like it a lot. You don't have to, but we do.
I'm just shaking my head, brother.
The story just it bounced around weird, and like you said, it became like a one race thing, and that kind of bothered me a little bit. But it was weird for these wolves and it ties into our next movie that we're going to talk about.
Frontiers.
But I'm going to go with
Shabadoo.
American Werewolf in Paris. 2.5.
2.5.
2.5.
Wow, middle ground.
I did enjoy it because it made me laugh, but I was laughing for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, a serious werewolf movie should never have a scene where you're out in the public in your boxers, and that's a gag.
Twice. He ran with the same guy with the dog, watching him run. And also the montage of them looking for the note.
Gonna need that was
really weird. That was really weird about them, looking for the note in a montage.
So you
the
gave
whole
it
scene where he's recovering from in the fucking hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, he did all his own stunts. This guy right here, and she only
the window and shit.
And she only took this role just to pay rent.
So he did all his own stunts. You mean the bungeeing against a green screen?
Yeah, whatever he might have done. As far as stunts.
Where did that tidbit come from?
where I found it?
Yeah.
I found it on IMDb.
IMDb. Alternate ending.
Under trivia.
So in an alternate ending, after Andy eats Claude's heart, Seraphin has a vision of her stepfather in the back of an ambulance explaining how he found a cure before his death. The closing scene shows Andy and Chris visiting Seraphine at the hospital, where she has given birth to a child whose eyes shift to look like werewolves. Another version of the alternate ending features Inspector Ledoux in Christ's place at the hospital. Ooh.
John Landis is the director of this, and he did a lot of good shit.
Is Landis really the director?
Yeah.
So it was nominated for the worst sequel of '97, but lost to Speed 2. Imagine how bad Speed 2 must be. So this is supposed to be an actual. No, Landis did not direct this.
No, he was a co-writer. That's what I was saying. I stand corrected.
Here's his quote. You want his quote?
Yeah.
The director of American Werewolf in London didn't like the movie, saying, "I was really disappointed when I saw the film. I thought it was lousy." Good for you, Landis. You want to hear the soundtrack of this fucking movie? Here we go. Mouth by Bush. Psychosis by The Refreshments. Normal Town, Better Than Ezra. Never Gonna Give You Up, Cake. Sick Love, Red Cross, The Suicide Machines, Break the Glass. Let's see. Fastball, Human Torch. Skinny Puppy, Hard Set Head. And then other garbage. This movie, from head to toe, is garbage. My final thoughts.
MTV,
yeah,
like I said.
It's almost like it's like if MTV shat out just a terrible movie. A sequel.
It's what MTV wanted you to. It's what MTV wanted you to see.
Yeah, this was literally one of the blockbuster 1997 direct-to-DVD movies that released in theaters. Is what happened. My final thoughts: it's garbage. 1.5 out of 5. My childhood stupid memory let me down on this one, and I'm gonna have to have some self-reflection on it. Giovanni, go ahead.
The lore of I'm a big lore guy, so I love when movies explore the lore of ghosts or curses or werewolves, vampires. I love when they do it a lot. But they have to do it right. Looking at you, Twilight. Fuck you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Glitter. It's funny how you and I both say glitter.
I don't feel this just adds to the injustice that werewolf movies provide werewolf.
Underworld's pretty decent.
The werewolves in there, though, it's
what about True Blood?
I like True Blood.
They weren't terrible.
It got really fucking wacky at points, though.
Well, the show in general did.
Near the end seasons, it got really fucking wacky.
I still maintain the second season of True Blood is one of the best seasons of any supernatural type show on television. I mean, that's the one where the woman comes in, the witch.
Oh, the one that makes everybody turn into
that season of television.
That was a great season.
Fucking gold.
It's really well done.
It made everybody think about what the fuck just happened.
The first season.
Did I just do this?
The first season was cool because it was kind of Twilight-y, but rated R with a southern, Louisiana flair, and so there was a lot more mystery in that season. But then in season 2, Eric comes back, cuts his hair off, and he's more badass than ever. So you can't not like his character. And then season 2 was smart. It forces all your favorites to work together, even though they're on opposite sides. It was just a brilliant season of television. I thought they handled werewolves okay. Even though the werewolves in the show, I believe, just looked like wolves, right? They never show them turn into anything. Yeah, so
I think they were regular sized wolves too.
Yeah,
just
I see. I like Underworld's 1's type of wolf, but the problem is Underworld 2 then turns them into upright walking destruction monsters.
Weren't they also like hybrids?
Well, there were hybrids. Well, there was
the second one.
Yeah, in the first one he was a hybrid.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because he was
but then,
born.
Didn't they extend it into the second?
Yeah, then he becomes more prevalent in number 2, and then by one of the sequels they kill him off, and then he comes back, a la Fast and the Furious, I believe, in another sequel. So I don't know what the fuck's going on with that whole franchise. I stopped watching after I think 3.
when they changed the main character.
When it just
I think so.
became garbage, basically. I mean, it was not. I like number 2 because of the action, but even that movie is not great. Sorry, Giovanni.
It wasn't Blood Rain one of those weird things too?
Blood Rain was
Yeah.
a video game that they made a movie out of by Uwe
Right.
Boll directed it, and it was.
Right.
You need I say
But
more?
didn't they have like multiple?
Yeah, they have a sequel that I think it was one of the sequels is basically like a softcore porn.
Yeah.
So it was.
So yeah,
So what
I
the
don't know.
fuck, dude?
I don't know. I don't trust anything by anybody anymore. I only watch indie horror films and cry. Halloween Kills too. Sorry,
I know.
Giovanni, go ahead.
The werewolf lore in this one's pretty messed up. And they tried to take a teen romance movie, and I don't know what they were doing with it. Watching this movie, it's not the same as I remember growing up. It's really, really bad.
You're the one that said this was your favorite werewolf
I know.
movie.
I was like, what happened? Like, what? Oh man, it's bad. This is a 1.5 out of 5.
Oh, for you too?
Yeah,
That's fucking terrible.
You have to give credit where credit is due, and this one's pretty bad.
I recommend a lot of shit, and I recommended this as well, just with Giovanni, and it's fucking bad. And the problem is, none of the. I mean, Frontiers.
It's funny because I was entertained by it. I just didn't think it was a great movie.
I thought it was
I gave it
terrible,
2.5.
bro.
And you guys both gave it a 1.5.
My poor wife even agreed to watch it with me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
out of
And I do agree
all
with
the
you.
movies she could have watched with me, she's watching this garbage.
I do agree with you, Alex. I was laughing at the movie, but for
Yeah.
all the wrong reasons.
So I found it entertaining in a way. So I went with it.
All right. We'll be right back. We're going to be coming back with Frontiers, right?
Frontiers.
A French horror film about making clay pots.
About making what?
Clay pots, you fool! Welcome back, motherfuckers. Second movie, Frontiers. It's a French movie with lots of French people. Doesn't matter who they are because you won't know them, so I'm not saying them. This movie made $3 million overall. That is theatrically and DVDs and all the other bullshit. Truth about this movie is it was meant to be one of the 8 films to die for at the Horror Fest in 2007. However, upon receiving its MPAA rating, which was NC-17 for, I'm assuming, violence and gore.
Maybe. Just a little bit.
It was only released for 10 U.S. theaters unrated for one weekend, grossing just under 10 grand. Released on DVD the following week and was released in France in 2008. So that $3 million, that was the budget, was at $3 million. Probably hasn't bought in much. That's why I can get it for $7.99 at any whim on Vudu.
You want to hear something funny?
Sure.
So we've seen a bunch of movies from Thailand, correct? Lately.
Indonesia, but yes.
Are you turning your face for a reason? No.
What do you mean? I don't know what you could possibly be referring to.
So this movie was actually banned in Thailand because of its violence.
Not enough
because of its violence.
Not enough lady boys.
Because of its violence.
There's no way.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh my god.
I guess I don't know. I mean, it is a pretty rough flick.
It is.
It is. I give it that. It is.
And here's the thing: this is another movie that I remember liking more than I liked it on this pass through. The story it slows down. It's convoluted. I mean, they're escaping rioting, but they're escaping them rioting and getting caught by the cops almost.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the people that to start off with are kind of assholes, anyways.
Right.
Like you really don't ever get that. Like I should like these people feeling. It's more like
do they get their comeuppance, or is it?
Yeah,
is
I mean,
it
it's like
just?
you guys are kind of assholes. So it's like, sorry, but that's kind of your fate now, isn't it, dickhead?
But there is a couple that are like not really a part of it.
Yeah,
only did it.
and they do
So
get kind of
there's-
the worst too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for them, suckers.
Yep.
I couldn't really get into this movie. It had a little bit to do with the pacing, but this type of movie, I was talking to Matt when we were offline on this. They fall into that vein of like, what'd you say, Matt? The Hills Have Eyes.
Texas.
I did like Hills Have Eyes though.
I like the Hills Have Eyes remake as well. But
It
those
did have
movies
a
were
throwback
done.
to Texas Chainsaw.
Those movies were done better than this, though. To me, this movie is very much more high tension. If you've never seen High Tension, it's another French horror movie. It's a rather violent movie. This you can relate it to things like Saw and Texas Chainsaw as far as the violence, but I mean it's a gory movie. There's not the subject matter is really fucked up and dark, but the actual physical, practical effects and violence are pretty awesomely done. And it's a violent movie. That's why we
their attention to detail too is kind of pretty cool because like at one point she's like beat up really bad and her eye is actually bloodshot from.
Well, they cut her hair in real time, and like everybody, Natalie Portman's a goddess because she shaved her head for V for Vendetta, and this girl has them hack away at her hair, and nobody gives her awards.
Yeah.
Look out here.
But
awesome kills in this movie. I think my favorite one was actually when the girl behind Alex fucking
pushes him.
Table sawed.
Oh yeah, table saws his ass. Well, not only that, she puts an axe to his feet,
and
then puts to his chest a couple times. She hits him in the chest a couple times, and then she shoves him on the fucking table saw.
So
holy shit!
The basic premise of it is
that was one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's the one scene that always is in my head when I think of that movie because the same thing with High Tension. It's the saw at the end of the movie coming through the windshield. Same thing. Basic premise
this was my first time seeing this.
Have you ever seen High Tension?
I think I did.
If you were to watch
the green background with the girl. Yeah, I think I did.
They're very similar in their tone as well and how they're shot. They're both French. They're both, I think, in the same scene around the same time. Much like The Raid and Night Comes For Us, that sort of pairing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Basic story is they escape these riots. They are rioters. They find this country home in France. They're basically, they're kind of greeted as friendly at first.
Did they not rob a bank too, though? Or
yeah, I think they robbed something.
They robbed something.
And the whole thing is they're kind of trying to hold out in there, and then they're fed. The whole family's weird. It's a little reminiscent of like Resident Evil 7. Where you get like the weird
Motel 6.
Yeah, like the weird family.
Or Motel. Sorry, Motel.
Which is an okay scene, but once again the movie really slows down. Then it ramps up with the fucked upness, but then slows down again to the point where you finally come to find out that the patriarch of the family is a former Nazi. This woman that they've been calling mom is really just a prisoner who's been there for years.
Yeah.
And the girl they want to make into the new mom, they basically wipe out the other friends in different ways. Different violent ways, whether it be hung on meat hooks, shit like that.
From their fucking ankles. Oh my God.
So shot in the head, and then the Achilles heel. It's one of those things where you watch it. It's if you need something
torturous.
Yeah, if you need something to if you're one of those people that walks out of Saw 3 and you're like, meh, go watch this. This may cure that bloodlust a little bit. But it's not a particularly great movie. It's interesting, but it gets to a slow point where you're kind of just like, whatever.
I think the slow point
is of gruesomeness, please.
I think the slow point is because of the language. I honestly, because the language part is of me trying to listen. Usually that keeps me interested in hearing the person talk, but I had to read it, so it was like See,
I don't mind subtitles at all. I don't mind them at all. It's just the fact that you can't do anything but lock into the fucking movie if you for an hour and 45 minutes because it's like I can't. If I look away, I miss dialogue. Right. So for me, I wanted to look at my phone because it was boring, kinda. But then it's like if I look at my phone, I'm gonna miss what the fuck's going on. Then I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna be like, wait, when did he talk about that? I don't want that to happen.
But there's also
one of the problems with the movies is the character development. They're oddly placed, and they do ramble on a little too long because they're trying. Even when the movie starts, I get the rioting, I get the oppression, I get that, and then they try and throw these parts of hear who these characters are.
Well, they showcase a family struggle. Which is, you have the oldest son basically is the golden child that the Nazi grandfather is saying, you're going to be the leader. And then you have the other son who must be the middle brother or around the same age as the other brother, who is he's the worker. He's the workhorse. He doesn't get any respect. And then you've got the youngest brother who's just
the driver.
No respect at all. They hate him. They openly insult him.
He's the bastard child.
Yeah, he's not purebred because he was brought by somebody else, whoever they kidnapped and raped.
Hans.
That's the truth of it.
Hans.
So that's the whole thing. And then there's an internal family struggle where, you have brothers wanting to take over the patriarch role, and they don't really fight each other.
Even with the ladies.
Yeah,
too, yeah.
And that's the other thing is those women, like you have the one that's all goofy and baby doll, and then you have the other one that looks like a biker bitch. Like the characters were just weird. Like it wasn't fleshed out enough to explain the weird. So you are kind of just left with, okay, they're weird. Are they just weird so I don't feel bad when they get slaughtered? Like, is that the whole thing? Like, it's okay to blow this one up and it's okay to, put this one on a table saw because they're just fucking weird? Like, I don't like that as a motivating action in a movie. It's boring. And I found this movie fucking boring besides the violent scenes.
What I gathered from all that is how the dad was speaking, the head fucking guy. He said that the only person that was born from him, which was Carl, so that means all the other ones were stolen too at birth or something. So at some point,
well, if they weren't,
he might have kidnapped all those people and raised them from when they were kids.
He either kidnapped them or had them with other women that weren't pure, and they either killed them or they died during the birth or something. Yeah, women that he raped and held captive.
So in some form, those weren't really his children. Only Carl is, and then the big dude.
What about the daughter? I thought the daughter was he talked about her like that was his actual
Gilberta,
the blonde one.
Yeah. So maybe she was, but in order to have your bloodlines be successful, you have to have a child that's boy.
Well, I mean, and it's actually kind of an interesting
spread your seed.
Well, it's an interesting concept, but if you don't explore it and you only use it as a device for why the family is so brutal and fucked up.
Yeah.
It really loses, it's kind of like it's shallow water and there's just nowhere to swim. Which is a big part is they don't develop these characters much at all. They kind of let them be you're nasty Nazis and that's why you're bad and that's why you're evil.
But that's why I'm kind of questioning about how it being a foreign movie and we're getting a translation. Maybe we're not getting the entire, because there is a lot of dialogue at some point where you see like a text or two, like where it shows it like a sentence, but he goes on.
Yeah, but you're too wrapped up in the Squid Game controversy is your problem.
No.
The dub man at dub edition, rubber dub, fuck that thing, subtitles all the way.
But I just think that there's more sometimes in the.
Yeah, you gotta wonder. Especially, also it depends on who you're using. Apple TV, if you're running through the Apple TV, it goes through its subtitles for the most part. Things like YouTube have their own subtitle generator, but even Vudu uses Apple TV's subtitle generator. Yeah. So there is differences. Like when I watched the one Van Damme movie, the new one that's terrible on Netflix with him in it, I think I watched it on one of the other devices, and the subtitles were the dubbing was just completely different from the subtitles. Like they all said around the same stuff, but completely different wording. And so I gotta wonder if it's per device. If you're watching Vudu on your phone and it's straight captions from there, is that different than Netflix via Apple TV? Is Netflix different on your phone, which was subtitles it gives? So I don't know. It's a weird thing. Because with the Apple TV, basically you just swipe down and that bitch gives you a subtitles option and you choose it.
Yeah, I watched it via the Apple.
Yeah, and it's all kind of universal. So you got to wonder. I mean, you would assume they use universal because that would mean there'd have to be two different subtitle data streams out there. So you'd assume they all use the same, but I don't know. Weird discussion. This movie's kind of a short movie. It's brutally violent. I recommend it just if you got that bloodlust. If you're like, you know what, no modern movie. I mean, Halloween Kills came out and I've already seen it, and I can attest it's nice and violent. But shut up about the violence. Shut up.
It is the longest out of the three movies.
The problem, the true, and we'll talk about this when we review it next week. The true problem with the movie is it does have tonal imbalances. There are certain scenes where Michael Myers seems much more like a.
Oh shit! You threw me off there for a second. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's got tonal imbalances where it does go from retro horror to modern horror to he's almost like a superhero murderer. I don't know. I loved it. There are issues with it, but I'm still going to rate it high. There's not enough brutal AAA horror movies coming out, and the fact that they had the balls to do it. I mean, he murders kids in it, so it's a great movie. Just for that fact alone, because fuck kids. No, I'm joking. But I'm gonna go first with my final thoughts. Check it out. It's a rough movie. It's one of those. If you're the later Saw fans, if you're a gore porn fan, if you like foreign horror, try it out. It's a good French horror. It's in the vein of High Tension. I'm gonna give it a 3. No, I'm gonna go 2.5. Actually, it's good, but watching it this second time or this whatever amount of time, and I haven't watched it in a while. A little bit boring at parts. It slows down considerably. So, but check it out. 2.5 for me.
All right, I'll go. Yeah, I love the violence in this movie. I love the female character again behind Alex, one of the main characters. I love the attention to detail to her mental drain.
Breakdown.
Yeah, like it was really well done by the end of the movie. Like she was clearly at one point in the movie, you can tell she was clearly running on adrenaline.
She starts out already broken.
True, but I mean, by the end of the movie, she is.
She
gone.
just breaks down even more with the loss of her brother, and then
it starts off with a high stress situation she didn't want to be in, which then leads to a high stress violent situation she didn't want to be in.
Yeah. And
she only wanted to get away for a couple weeks. That's all she wanted.
The movie.
I just want a vacation. I want a vacation.
The movie's violence was great, but I do agree that the portions where it slows down, I think they just tried too hard to do character development for characters that they were gonna kill anyway, and they tried too hard to draw you in and care about them too much at some point.
It's like I know they're going to be slaughtered. Like, do I really need this much backstory?
Yeah, it was rough. This is a 2.5 for me as well.
Okay. I think there was Texas Chainsaw kind of elements in there versus Motel Hell, like where they were actually eating people and shit like that. Because you didn't talk about that, but like there was a scene where she gets away and then she gets brought back to the scene because she gets picked up by somebody. So that's kind of like Texas Chainsaw-ish,
Dare I say there was somewhat of a Nothing But Trouble feel to this movie?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah, because like almost the whole town was in, which brings us to the end, which kind of fucking freaked me out. Now, when she gets to the end, is she going into a spot where they're because of the unrest?
Is she surrendering to the police, or is she surrendering to?
Or she's surrendering to somebody who's going to bring her back? Yeah. So that's what threw me off. I did like that a little bit, but I was kind of like still like, what the fuck's going on? I don't know. I think there was a lot of language
barrier
misunderstanding. Yeah, misunderstanding. So I think there was a little more where we could have understood it a little more if we were fluent in French, maybe. But but to be called what is it called a tampon? Is that an insult?
Maybe. I wouldn't want to be called a tampon.
Like that was what her brother was being called at the beginning. Was like he was called. They were calling him a tampon.
Maybe it's a French.
You telling me I'm absorbent?
Right? You mean to tell me I can spread my wings?
No, but I don't know. I like this one. I don't know. I really did like this one. It didn't seem like there was certain parts where it was slow, but it was maybe it was because I just wasn't catching something else in between the dialogue or something like that. But I did like it. So I'm gonna go with the flat 3 on this one. I did enjoy it. I liked how she fucking went through hell, and it wasn't like she was like
she wasn't Laura Croft. She wasn't Ripley from fucking Aliens.
Yeah, she wasn't fucking just somebody she was getting her ass kicked from the beginning to the end, and she found ways to survive in a way. It wasn't like she was just like
if she would have just behaved
she
herself.
She wasn't a superhero.
She could have found love if she would have just behaved herself.
Yeah, if she would have stood
she had
up.
A husband lined up, and
she stood up and kissed Carl.
She's got to be mom and just pump out kids and be raped every day. She could have had a good life.
But then after all that, she was still had the heart to try to save the one girl.
Stupidly.
She was like, "Come with me, come with me," which
and
it turns out that but she tried, but she saved her in the end. So
yeah,
that's true.
The girl does come through for her, and she knows she's a lost cause too. She's like, "No,
I did like the whole Mexican standoff at the middle though.
She
That was
blows up
pretty
the whole
cool.
fucking thing.
She had nothing to do with any of it. She was just a part of it, just holding a knife,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Blows up
it all
fucking-
happened around her.
Would she shoot a barrel behind 3 of them and shit? Like,
Yeah,
Well, that's the
yeah.
thing is,
Oh, like,
it does
God damn.
there are weird tone balances where it's like it goes from horror movie to like Uncharted.
Realistic.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what the fuck? So
Even
2.5.
Back for Blood.
What
Even
did-
Back for Blood. I said 3
3.
flat.
Did you give yours yet, Giovanni?
Yeah, 2.5.
Yeah. All right. We'll be right back. We're gonna do some heroin, and then we'll be right back with Grave
Encounters.
starring Lance
Can't afford
Preston.
So I'm just gonna do flour,
You
powdered
can't,
sugar.
yeah,
That's
you
all I
can't, you
got.
can't do heroin because you spent all your heroin money at Starbucks Seattle.
Oh God, yeah, you did.
Oh yeah, he's got the. It vibrates for his pleasure. We'll be right back.
All right, so welcome back, guys. We're gonna go into our third movie, Grave Encounters. Came out in 2010. But before we get into that, Giovanni, what have you been watching?
Oh, we're doing that. Mainly
Yeah.
horror movies. Yeah, mainly horror movies. I've been going through. I actually watched Grave Encounters 2 and 1.
All right.
I've watched Halloween the original, the one Alex doesn't like.
You were telling me you blew through the VHS movies.
I went through all the VHS movies, well, except for 94, because we're going to review that this week, so I wanted to wait on that one. But I caught up on all the VHSs. And What We Do in the Shadows, still watching that. It's great.
Oh, great.
Nice. All right. Matt, how about you?
I watched Halloween Kills, Man on Fire.
That was today.
Yeah, that was early last night or late last, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it. Like midnight.
Well, according to today, that was today.
Yeah, it was early today.
And you were the Man on Fire.
I watched Man on Fire recently. What We Do in the Shadows. Jen and I have been continuing our disgusting path down the white trash reality TV show thing. And it started with camping. We started watching Bret Michaels' Rock of Love on the iPad as soon as we found out we had signal, because we started it right before we left.
There's a new show of cover bands.
Oh gosh, is it VH1?
So
Oh,
yeah,
no.
it was some. No, it's not. I gotta find what it is. I'll let you know. But it was somebody where they're actually covering these bands, and some guy was dressed up as Bret Michaels.
So
I'm gonna have to find it. I'm gonna have to find it.
Do you want to give props to Tubi? Because they have the unrated episode. So they're full nudity, full unedited language. Like, there are funny scenes where she's like, "You were sucking his cock," and they don't bleep it out, but then she flips her off and they bleep it out. Like, they bleep out her finger. It doesn't make sense.
So ass backwards.
But yeah, we just started season 2. And then we're probably done with the bad reality TV shows after that, and we'll move on to an actual TV show. But that's what we're watching. Alejandro, what are you watching?
All right, so for me, I've been watching What We Do in the Shadows. I'm catching up. I'm on season 1, episode 8.
Good show.
So I'm moving along. I also started watching the new Chucky. It's okay.
You and Lewis both have the same reaction, which it's
let's see what happens. I don't know. Let's see what happens.
It doesn't sound like you're hopeful the way it started. Like, you kind of have that, like, it's not going to be great, I don't think, type thing.
And then I started Day of the Dead, which is something I didn't know. Sorry, I got the hiccups. I didn't know that Sci-Fi started a new Day of the Dead bucket.
Well, did you know that I Know What You Did Last Summer is an Amazon Prime show?
Yeah, I was about to say that
I just saw that too. I was like, what the fuck? Really?
Yeah.
Also, what I was gonna say too is I was watching the first one. What was the first movie we watched? Or we talked about
Grave Encounters,
Werewolf in Paris.
Werewolf in Paris.
Garbage
so after
pile.
Werewolf in Paris, I was stuck on a Tubi loop, and
Tubi's
I started
got some
watching.
good shit.
I started watching Baby Boy.
Baby Boy.
And I made it through half the movie. And yeah, so I want to finish it now. But yeah, that's in my lineup now. Baby Boy with Tyrese and
Does anybody remember that?
Crybaby.
Crybaby. I don't like that movie.
That's I love Crybaby. Shut up.
Fine, I guess. I just said I don't like that movie. That's rude.
Shut up.
Shut up, bitch. You don't get an opinion. Fuck yeah.
Shut up. Crybaby is a great movie.
I'm in an action movie, like a violent action movie mode, but there's nothing new out there. You guys remember the movie with Keanu Reeves where he plays a cop, but he's basically like an enforcer? It's got Terry Crews in it as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's got Ray Liotta in it too, but I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, wow. Ray Liotta,
it's an
Terry Crews.
I think Ray Liotta
and Keanu Reeves. Holy shit.
I think the word hard is in it somewhere. Oh, I can't remember. But I want to watch that movie, and I got to find it somewhere. I've also been debating buying 2 movies on Vudu or iTunes, and the 2 movies are Judgment Night and Brotherhood of the Wolf, and I think I'm just going to buy them both this weekend.
I love Judgment Night. Is that the one with Cuba Gooding? And,
yeah, it's so good. I haven't seen it. Emilio Estevez, and
Emilio Estevez, yeah.
I really want to watch that movie, and it's not streaming anywhere, and I'm just going to buy it because it's worth $11 in my opinion.
At some point, it is.
It's worth it now, tonight.
How old is this one with Ray Liotta and fucking
it's like
Keanu?
2000-something, 2005-ish. You're gonna make me do this? You're gonna make me look it up?
I'm doing it myself,
dude. Fucking schmuck.
Revolver?
No.
Slow burn?
Definitely not.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah, that's
money?
That's the answer we want. Ah, fuck. You're looking at not Constantine. Man of Tai Chi.
I'm looking at Ray Liotta movies.
Why would you look at? He might not be in it, but so the bad move. I may have misspoke. No. I'm not even finding it. It's definitely not. Oh, Street Kings.
Street Kings. What
Street Kings. Yeah, if you've never seen it, it's actually pretty awesome. Ray Liotta's not in it. It's actually Forrest Whitaker. Whoops.
Big fucking difference.
Only if you see color, you racist. I just see good acting abilities. It's not about you. It's not about you. I just remember him just shouting that in that one movie. I don't remember what it's not about you.
Forrest Whitaker, yeah. Was he the one yelling it?
Yeah.
Or was it Cedric? Or was it Cedric?
No, it was him, and it was with his weird eye.
Oh, God.
Anyways.
I like Common. Common's in there. I like Common.
Common's a punk. I don't know why I said that, but... Right, it's only $10 HTX. I think I'm going to buy it. Fuck it.
Already started. Here we go.
Do it.
So we're talking about a movie called Grave Encounters. Basically, what this movie is if you are familiar
found footage
with it is a found footage movie. It's actually a relatively cheap one. They filmed it for $120,000, made about $5.3 million at box office, which I'm assuming is DVDs and all that shit as well. So it was fairly financially. That's why they did this the sequel, but fairly financially successful. Concept is think Ghost Adventures, think all the Ghost Hunter shows. What happens if it's this bullshit? You know, we all know it's bullshit. We all know it's fake. What if it happens to where their ad is truly haunted and shit goes fucking loony? It is a build-up movie. It's lots of nothing, lots of talking, lots of jokes, lots of
yes.
Which isn't a bad thing. You need that. You need that in these movies in order to make the end so powerful and so scary as they're going for and shit like that. So I understand it. You kind of need it, but in the same token, it's a long movie, or it feels longer because there's 40 minutes of setting up cameras and talking about it and clearly talking about how they're fake and then the latter half of the movie, which is about 30 minutes.
It's about them getting shit fucking scared.
Yeah, it kicks in, and then even the ending of the movie, although I really do like this movie, the ending of the movie does give you somewhat of a slow burn.
Blah.
One by one, they kind of slowly get picked off, and then he's by himself. And...
Well, one of the also off camera, I guess, kills, what you want to call it, is Sasha. She disappears in the smoke. Or was that just me?
Off-camera kills.
Like she, well,
when they're in the tunnel and the fog comes in.
when the fog comes in,
when the fog comes in,
yeah.
she disappears, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, you also do. I do think Matt's death is pretty great. How he just takes a dive down the elevator shaft.
That was great.
I thought that was really awesomely filmed.
Well, no, TC disappearing in the tub was fucking like holy shit.
That was also very neat. I'll give you that one.
And he was out of all of them, he just wanted to go home to his kids.
Yeah,
of all of them.
Well, spoiler alert: the sequel, Lance Preston makes a return.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and it's
after he was lobotomized?
It's actually a pretty cool concept. I'm not going to say anything more.
I thought he was lobotomized.
Not going to say anything
in the
more.
first one. Okay.
I'm not going to say anything more.
Definitely watch it. Watch the sequel.
There's the sequel? Okay.
Yeah. And they do it. It's not your normal, like, hey, it's the same guy. There's a whole twist on why he's there that they do a good job with it.
Okay.
This movie's good for what it is. It's a found footage horror movie. You anticipate certain build-up. They got to build the character backstories. And that's the problem with found footage horror movies in general, is in order to build the story and the characters, there has to be a lot of the camera in the face talking and the little bit of drama between these two and a little bit of romance between these two and some comedy. This guy's clearly the funny guy, because that's the only way you're going to know who the fuck these people are. And that's kind of the trap of a found footage movie, is that you have to figure out some way to tell you who they are and why you should care about them, all with the POV perspective.
When this movie started out, my first impression was, "Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and I'm here at this fucking hotel," or some shit like that.
Still to this day, when I watch this movie, I am seeing Zach Baggins.
Oh my god! Yeah.
We're at the old mental hospital. Closed down in 1968. I am seeing Zach Baggins when they do the cuts where the camera angles on the ground in the hallway. It's like that is Ghost Adventures 101.
This guy though, he looks exactly like fucking Johnny Knoxville.
A little. He also looks with the douchey leather jacket and everything. You're hunting ghosts, but you have a biker leather on. Like, what the fuck is the problem?
And then they bring fucking Houston Gray, who looks like fucking Mick Jagger.
I loved his character, though. I love when he's like, it's getting colder over here. That tells me they want to go here. And then it's like, cut. And he's like, oh, I hope that was good. That was such bullshit.
Did I do good? Yeah. He was like getting praise. Like, is that good?
That's the best part of this movie. They make fun of those guys so perfectly.
And that's why
and then they all get fucked, which I like.
And that's why, spoiler alert, in the end of it.
I like that.
When they start having the faces pop out, and then the doctors start appearing, and then the patients start appearing. It definitely gets, especially the last 20 minutes.
Matt comes back.
Last 20 minutes are pretty, he ends up coming. Well, that's before he takes the dive. They find him, and then he ends up taking the dive down the elevator.
You don't know what the fuck happens to Matt
at all for whatever the
halfway through the fucking movie.
Yeah,
halfway through the movie, you're thinking Matt just off screen died. You think he's dead off screen.
I do feel they could have used less of the talk and more of scenes of the static cameras in the hallways and fucking with those. I would have preferred that, where you could have shown shit go by and a whole bunch of stuff, really.
I would have preferred, like, if the shaky cam was only when they were running, not when they were actually talking and moving.
Well, yeah, remember, it's all supposed to be. I mean, they literally would. $120,000 budget. They literally were using handy cams.
But there was scenes where they were just outside, and they would zoom in on your face, and then zoom out, and then zoom in, and zoom out.
It's the Blair Witch Project effect.
It was starting to piss me off about how much they did that. Which I get it. I get you're trying to establish that you're trying to be a camera person outside, but why keep fucking zooming in and out? It was aggravating to me. I don't know. Whatever.
That's part of the uniqueness of found footage. Movies like that,
and it does some of the found footage tropes really well, like the wheelchair behind him when he's on the phone moving.
Yeah.
In the hallway. Like, there's certain things that it does really well and really inventive. The idea of using CG to create the ghost face.
Yeah,
wasn't terrible looking. That is one of
that.
those things that could have wrecked it had it looked shittier. But fortunately, it looks pretty decent. There's just things it does right. It does the fundamentals right of a found footage movie, which is lull you to this kind of calm and then make shit go bad. Kind of like a movie I just made, actually, which will be debuting soon. A little bit. That is the found footage, I think, template. So it does it very well. I would love to see a movie, maybe by the Vicious Brothers, by the way, is the director's names. I'd love to see this movie maybe maybe redone with a higher budget. Give it $5 million. See what we can do. Make it bigger. Whatever you want to do. Or something, or give these guys reins to another property. Because I dig. I mean, they did the found footage very well.
They did.
If you're a fan of found footage, you'll like the movie. If you are somebody, and I think Alex is one of those dudes who is like, he's cool with it to a certain degree, and then it's like, I can't deal with this shit anymore.
Yeah.
So if you are somebody on the fence about found footage, I don't think this is going to sway your opinion. I think you have much more of a chance. I did enjoy the movie.
I did enjoy this movie
than this one, but it's still good.
Fair point.
I did enjoy this movie.
Fair warning, I should say. This movie does have a lot of build-up. It's one of the few found footage movies, I will say, where things kick off a little slower.
Pretty slow in general.
Yeah, you have a little less. You have less time at the end for kind of that roller coaster ride you've been waiting for. Most found footage movies give you little tidbits a little earlier on
of what's going to happen.
Not only that, but also most found footage movies end at the crescendo. Where it's like, this movie goes up until the point where she disappears in the fog, and then it just drops its tempo completely.
Yeah.
Where it's just him going crazy, filming himself.
Eating a fucking rat and then finding fucking,
which is a weird tone to take when normally those movies would be, that's it, he's dead. We'll just have, like, the darkness and him screaming.
He's not dead yet. No, not yet. No, he's going to do this.
Yeah, which is a little different.
It's like, what the fuck's happening?
I'd like to see these guys take on an anthology. And I don't know if they've directed anything in the VHS, but I wouldn't be surprised.
So you said the second one picks up or no?
The second one is a sequel. He's in it.
Is it pertaining to this or no?
Well, he's in it, but that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Okay. All right.
The second one pertains to certain aspects of the first one.
Right.
I think
so
it goes deeper.
The second one makes a couple mistakes, I feel, but there's more. If you take the end of this movie, the last 20 minutes, and extend it out, there is more to it.
So my feeling from the end of this movie was, the surgeon was very built on lobotomizing, and with him bleeding from the eye, I thought he was lobotomized because that's normally where, back in the day, they would put the pin and they would hammer it into their head to lobotomize people.
You're not going to be able to deduce the logic of the second one by looking at the first one. You got to.
Okay, so I'm just
connected, but you have to separate the logic from it and go horror movie logic.
So you'll understand
when you watch it. Like you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. And the problem is if we say anything, it'll fuck it up for you.
That's what I'm trying to like. Yeah.
I have not watched the second movie.
If we tell you,
thank you, gentlemen, for not spoiling it.
It's a movie where me saying he's in it ruins it a teensy bit, but saying how he's in it in any way fucks it up for you. It will. I know you. It will fuck it up for you. It's a big kind of like. I appreciate that.
It's not like my wife telling me that the Black Hawks or the American team won earlier today.
No, it is much more. When I was watching, they told me a big twist in a movie I have yet to see. That's how you would be like. We would get a text at 1 a.m. where it's like, you guys are cunts. Like, you fucking ruined it for me, and I liked the first one.
Fuck you, you fucking cunts.
Yeah, you would be very angry because I know you, and you are a spoiler Nazi.
I hate.
I feel like you would punch your daughter if she was about. Like, you'd be like, I'm sorry. I wouldn't
punch my child. But what if? But I would throw something.
Okay, maybe not a haymaker.
I would throw something.
But maybe a reactionary backhand to where you're just like, I'm sorry, but I'm not caught up in what we do in the shadows yet, sweetie. Please shut the fuck up until then. Okay.
I would throw something at them. Yes.
That is some British humor shit where it's like, you fucked the movie for me and punch him in the face.
Yeah, you asshole.
Here's my comb, you fucking bitch.
It's the type of thing that Jackie Daytona would be cool with. Laszlo, not so much. You told me the ending to my pornography.
I can hear my child screaming from the other room.
It's only the murderers. All right, so so watch this movie. It's a good found footage horror movie. It's one of those movies where we don't want to say too much because then it does kind of kill it for you. You'll know exactly what's coming. We do spoil things. It is a haunted house type thing. It is a little bit like the House on Haunted Hill, where it seems that the doctors kind of were just vicious and fucked with patients and tortured them, and that's really where the spirits are coming from.
It was definitely like the Kellogg's fucking home.
Yeah, and like the best way to describe it is it's an episode of Ghost Adventures where at the end of the episode they all get murdered and it's actually haunted. Like, that's what it is. And it's really fun, especially if you're into that genre.
Adventures, they all live.
Every time. Every single time.
Regardless if it's haunted or not.
Like there are those episodes where it's like it's 2 days later we took this photo and it's like he's got 3 little marks on his back.
I'm confused.
And it's like, when that happened, it was an intense burning. And it's like, we get
Nobody spelled hello on her back.
We get it, Zach Bagels. Calm down, okay?
But they spelled hello on her back, though.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Well, see, and that's the difference in, like, Grave Encounters, they do ramp it up where, like, when she has the mark, it's like they tore into her back. But in real life, it's like, I have a little triangle mark. I swear, it's right there. You can't see it on camera,
But then she disappears. That's my whole thing about what the fuck happened to her. I thought I fell asleep and I thought I missed something.
It is a weak death.
It's funny that we keep talking about Zach because there is an episode of Ghost Adventures where they do get locked in an asylum and they basically scare the shit out of themselves and jump out the second story window.
I mean, there's been episodes of that show. There's been episodes of that show where they think it's like a haunting and they realize it's somebody outside the fencing area and they're like got a laser pointer fucking with them.
Is that on Paramount or no?
That's on one of them.
Because
Discovery. Is it Discovery?
Because my kid is all into that whole ghost phenomenon.
It's Ghost Adventures is a fun show.
I've been trying to get the whole thing in a row and you can't get it.
It's streaming on one of them. I don't remember which one.
I know, but they only give you like to a certain degree. But they're all owned by the same fucking people.
No, this one has like all 20 seasons or whatever it is at this point. Because I think they do 2 seasons a year or some shit.
We're gonna have to.
It's a fun show, but don't watch it thinking you're seeing real scientific ghost hunting.
Yeah.
It's entertainment, and you'll have fun with it.
This movie itself tells you it's all about entertainment.
Look at it like this:
this is what they do.
You're watching a 45-minute found footage movie each episode.
Yeah.
That doesn't have a good ending. They don't
and
die.
Half the time you don't see half the shit they saw in this movie.
No, 99% of the time you don't.
Not even 3/4 of what you see in the movie.
If you do watch this movie, and you're curious about Ghost Adventures, the main character of this movie, the guy in the black jacket, is exactly what Zach is like on the TV.
Zach Baggins is Lance Preston.
Exactly.
There's no way.
Now, when you say Lance Preston, I keep thinking, "Hi, this is Jackass."
It's the main guy. You're thinking of Preston Lacey.
I know. Yeah. Preston Lacey, yes. But I keep hearing it. But Lance Baggins, for this movie, whatever, he is fucking Johnny Knoxville.
No, you gotta go watch Ghost Adventures.
I know, but I'm talking about Lance when he starts off. He is Johnny Knoxville. He's like, "Hi, how's it going?" He's like, "I want to go into this building now." He's Johnny Knoxville.
He's Zach Baggins.
Yeah, okay.
I'll arm wrestle you over it. Let me see if. Oh, hold on.
Oh, wait. We already did this. When we went to the game place.
Yeah, I won. I broke that arcade. I fucking broke it.
I'm the one that broke that arm.
I fucking ripped its arm off and I drank its gear blood. I have the photos.
They made fun of you.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. Ask Fabian and ask yeah.
For
they made
what?
fun of you.
Dominating?
Because I beat it quicker than you did.
I mean,
the arm wrestling thing.
I mean, if you wanna, we can do some
comparisons. Oh my god, we're gonna do this. Okay.
I mean, we can kind of go over it if you want. I mean, if you want to go ahead and throw some up.
Your guns don't mean shit.
Hey, look at that. What did I say before? Gumby arms. It's back.
Your guns don't mean
Final
shit.
thoughts on this movie, fucking flapping in the wind like one of those pool noodles. Final thoughts, Alex.
I don't care. No,
fuck you guys for 3 out of 5.
No, I did enjoy Grave Encounters.
He's gonna give it 2.5.
Yes, oh my god.
Now he's not going to give it 2.5 because I called it out. But
3.0.
No. I'm just trying to think.
It's a grave encounter watching this movie.
Oh god. My notes are this fucking big right here.
I just see white.
Yeah, I know. You can't see it. Yeah.
What if he saw?
Oh, there was letters.
What if it did come through and it's nothing but dicks he drew all over the place? He's just doodling dicks.
No, but I spent more time watching the movie. I guess that's something to say. I was more intrigued in watching the movie than taking notes. So that's something. Because I actually watched it more than I was actually jotting shit down. And I'm okay. I'll go with 3. 3 hot dogs.
Giovanni.
I love this movie. Great found footage movie. Makes fun of if you've ever grew up watching Ghost Encounters, one with the plumbers, Ghost Hunters.
If you watch anything on Halloween.
Hell, if you watch videos on YouTube nowadays of the independent, it's a lot of the same shit. Still.
Yep, they slam it perfectly, and although it has that charm, it has the found footage. It still does a pretty good job at pushing the limit on the thriller aspect, pushing your nerves.
When it goes to deliver the scares, they're pretty effective.
Yeah, they're pretty good. So this is an easy 4 for me.
Nice.
Easy 4.
My wife walked in on the last 15 minutes of it, and she was getting scared. And when she saw a dude fucking hit the fucking thing with the stick and eat the rat, she was, oh my god! She started fucking getting very vocal. And I was like, dude, you just fucking got here. Relax.
See, I think Jen actually might like this because I watched Ghost Adventures with her, but she didn't watch it with me. She watched American Werewolf in Paris, but then she's like, what's the other one? And I'm like, Frontiers. And she's like, what's it about? And I was like, you're not watching it. And she's like, what? And I was like, you wouldn't want to, and I'm not going to ask you to. You're not watching it. Because she would get to the scene where it's just gross, and she'd be like, I'm fucking checked out of this movie.
I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm out.
She wouldn't give a shit about story. She'd handle the violence okay, but just the grossness of it would be like, nah, I'm good. She would check out and be on her phone. So I like this movie. I think it's a good found footage movie. I like the sequel as well. I wish they would bring it back somehow. I think it's a pretty cool concept to make fun of. I agree with Giovanni. I think making fun of the Ghost Adventure shows is a funny idea for a movie. I'm gonna give it a 3.5. I really dig it. I would like to see a version of this done with some budget. But yeah, no, I want to see more from these guys. I got to see what they put out. I don't honestly know. Clearly it was lower budget. I haven't even looked into the budget for the second one, but the second one's good. Either way. But yeah, 3.5 out of 5 from me. Any final words before we cut out?
At all.
Come see us next week. We're going to be doing a pretty awesome episode, which will be Halloween 2018, Ooh. Halloween Kills, and VHS 94. So
VHS 94,
I've already watched all the movies once. I got to go through Halloween 2018 again. I'm going to watch Halloween Kills again, and then I'm going to watch probably VHS 94 a second time as well. But the really good week next week as far as new and just awesome. And then the finale, I believe, is The Exorcist. Ernest Scared Stupid, if we can get it. I don't know. It's like $18 digital. It's fucking ridiculous.
Unless somebody can find it.
We've got actually a few in the alternatives department on that one. So we'll figure out the final week after. But next week's gonna be a good one. We will see you guys then. Until then, enjoy. You got this episode, which is technically week 3, and you have the prior 2, which is week 2 and 1. We'll be putting out more other content as well. We have a couple episodes that are just sitting in the tank, trying to figure out when the appropriate time to release those is. So November, I think before the Christmas holiday, we're going to have a content dump, which is we have a martial arts episode. We've got to drop the Dark City episode again, the recut edition. So we got some stuff coming. We're going to load up for the holidays. So when you got
Be scary
when you're out there driving, going to the malls and shit because America's trying to get back to normal, you'll be able to listen to the Nerdattude Movie Podcast all month long. So
wear your mask. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say it wrong?
Shut up, Karen.
Did I say it wrong?
Until the next time, guys, have a wonderful time. Later.